Good morning, everybody. This is Shifali Chopra, your storyteller. Today, I'm here with extremely important person, an entrepreneur, Mr. Prasiddha B. Pandey. He's from Nepal. He's the chairman of Shangri-La Hotel and Resort Group. It's my privilege and honor that you have been able to take out time for me, sir. This is um, extremely important session for all of us because I know there are going to be pearls of wisdom flowing in. Good morning, sir. I welcome you on the program.
Yeah, Shivali, thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you very much for inviting me in your special episode. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. It's really, truly an honor that you have been able to take out this time for us. I hear about this, Mr. Prasada, that all important people, all people who are working hard, whether it's corporate, whether it's entrepreneurship, or making a mark in life, they all follow very tight schedules. They really get up early in the morning and they start their day early. Is that true?
Shivali, of course, those are I would rather say more universal practice. I mean, that's how the human life cycle keeps going on. The moment you have to give more time, so that means about 12, 15, or 18 hours of your thinking or your working has to be shortened your sleeping pattern. And that goes with the body, that goes with the psychic. So it is more like a synchronization of your effort, your think process, which will automatically goes back to your body. So I feel that is more like universal. More you work hard, I mean definitely you have to sleep less or you wake up early morning, and that's how the cycle goes on.
In the recent time, I know that you have been traveling quite a bit because there are so many new projects coming up. And, you are quite a traveler, I must say.
Yeah, I
What are
mean
the new
as a
projects that are coming up?
Yes, Shivali, as a hospitality business, hospitality itself is a lifestyle. It's not even a business; it's a way of life. I would rather say. If you look at many business, I've gone through many business, but when I'm in part of this hospital, my family lineage in hospitality, I found this more than a profession. I find it a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle activity, the business. Whereas it become a natural phenomenon that you go to travel, which you like in the most. I mean, not only me, many people like that. Be part of your, winery, dinery, or socializing, which is again the very fun part of everybody's life. And we are in the midst of that. So definitely, it really excites me, and definitely the travel always become like more than it's like a hobby in itself. You go to travel to make sure that you are part of the hospitality sector.
That's true. I agree with you. I think you said a beautiful thing that you really have to be passionate about it and you have to have, some kind of strong connection basically between what you do and or what you love doing. I think it's a very important thing. That's why the results are also pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. Shifali, if you look at it, we always talk about dream. I mean, entrepreneur, even any hard work, I will not call it a dream. I just simply say that it's a manifestation. Manifestation. You conceive your idea, you conceive something in your mind, will literally become a dream. I mean, because if you keep on thinking about it, then definitely that partially you keep on remembering that in your dream also. But basically, it is a manifestation. If I think about something that I have to go through, it become part of the written manifestation in your mind. That automatically brings some kind of synchronization in your body. You're like like we call it the yoga. Your mind body, your soul and body. Union kind of thing. That's what the same pattern. The psychic, the human behavior. Goes around, evolve around that. So that's what I think it become passion.
Very well said. I know exactly that hospitality is not an easy industry. It's all about pleasing people. It's all about making them comfortable. It's making their many dreams come true. There are a lot of people who plan a trip to a hotel to spend their special moments there, and it's very it's like they basically collect money to be there, a part of your project, a part of your program, And what is one thing that you're that is completely a part of your project? What is one little thing that you say to your employees that this is one thing that you all must do?
Actually, like I just said, you have put it more on the materialistic form. What I'm going to do is, more than materialistic form, means you pay or they are going to there and be part of the service. I think it's beyond that. Basically, if you look at the human life cycle, one tends to go for a stress-free, life. And that's how the whole approach behind, I mean, I would not say taming human psychology or human brain. It's you have to. What is the relaxation? How do you find that relaxation? How do you find that comfort, that joy? That blissness, full. And that's what people don't do. Feel that no, I'm going to hotel for a sleep or for the food or for some kind of service. No, I'd rather go beyond that. Nowadays we love talk about distressing. Why can't you distress amongst one of the most beautiful, finest thing in your life? Means what is the finest thing in my life? I mean, anybody's life with the good food, good preparation, good environment, good service, good, look, feel, when you look around, even the interior feel should feel like, so that, and when you, most of the hotel, look at the location, we always call location, 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 because that's the idea behind that your thinking process, your condition where you are going to be taking holiday for your near dear one, has to be such a perfect that the blissness, the joyfulness should be there. And that's one of the most enormous part in our life, because for that we have been thriving, we have been driving crazy to create that kind of. But I think I would rather in a box like hotel, in an environment like hotel. I think that is the kind of hospitality service that we should be. I mean, that's what I've been telling my team, my people around that. It's beyond beyond the material service. We okay, they pay you, you provide. That's not the point. The point is that the joyfulness, the blissfulness that you can provide. Of whatever service, whatever the environment that you created, either it's hygiene, either the food, either it could be what do you call that, momental, that blissness that you can create among the small things that you do for your counterpart, and that is what the hospitality sector, I would rather say.
That's wonderfully said. I think the details, the beauty lies in the small things. And that is very important. As you said, that it's joyful experience, it's wholesome. And I think the hotel industry has also come a long way, a long way. It's not just about location or service, it is much more beyond. It's touching lives, if I may say, you know.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why one tend to make the hotel not just for the restaurant only, for the bedroom only. They just go beyond that. How to make
Yeah.
it artistic. So that when you look at the even the architecture, even the interior, one should go beyond that their mind. There should be, oh, what a wonderful place. What a wonderful environment. And then and followed by the other thing. That's the whole idea. And then if there's a location, of such, where the location creates the condition. And if the location becomes like, one of the best in the environment, best in the nature, that could be mountains, hills, sea, or whatever you name it, the nature has to provide. And if that's the condition, and when you can create the art, and you be part of that, what happens, and that's all hospitality.
That's very well said. One word that keeps coming to my mind is consistency. Whatever you do has to be consistent. This is something many organizations forget this word. And what do you think you would like to tell me about consistency?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very foremost part of the whole cycle. I mean, I'm not only I mean, in the entrepreneur, and I think any sphere of life, I think the consistency always has to be essence of life, I think. So I don't think there's anything. I mean, there is no any second thought on that. That has to be there, and whether it's a bad or good or whatever, mediocre, the consistency will keep take you to the point where you wanted to go. So that always becomes a proper, rather I would rather say a cemented highway. It's always has to be there, whether it's a rain or sunshine or the highway becomes cemented.
Obviously, when you were the little boy, Prasida, it's not like you always dreamt of having a hotel and running one. I'm sure you had different dreams. What were you passionate about then?
Actually, my family, my father was in business. He was in government service, He was government service, and you know how Nepal is known for. Nepal is known for Gurkhas, army, the bravery, loyalty, and all that, So suddenly, my father he left the business and he started doing some trading business, and that's what when he happened to travel to London, one of the pub that he was asked by some English guy saying that where are you from? I from Nepal. Oh, you are a Gurkha. No, no. He said, no, no, I'm not a Gurkha. I'm a businessman. And then he suddenly said, oh, you are a civilian Gurkha. So my point was that is a proverb. That's how Nepal is always considered as a bravery, this, that, never colonized, highly cultural, small country, very explosive, cultural diversification, all that. But somehow iconic feel of Nepal was never Nepal. Of course, there was bravery, like your many kings in those days in India. So that's why Nepal had that the charm of having that, but they never had that other feel of that means entrepreneurship or being other way of life cycle, and that's what I was always in that keen to see that oh that's another life, means apart from the ruling or apart from the what administrative or apart from the army, there's definitely the other world, which is again the business and all that. And then naturally, there was always excited, excited, and when we started the hotel, the Shangri-La was a strong fame at those time, and we still remember there was a guy called Desmond Doig who was also the philanthropist, who was in India for a long time and came to Nepal, got settled because of Shangri-La. He designed gardens, whole Shangri-La theme. The Shangri-La theme he created in Nepal was that he resembled, Nepal was supposed to be a Shangri-La, means a paradise, a paradise. And that's why you want to create that paradise. And that's why I said that hotel is not just the building or room and all that. There was a kind of vision, there was a kind of artistic impression that you want to create. It's a Shangri-La, and the Shangri-La he brought me to the place in our property, the garden. You want to create a garden because none of those days were hotel, they wanted to create a garden because garden was a waste, there's no economic advantage, So that's what he created the garden of a different paradigm, which became Nepal's more pioneering garden, Same thing with our design philosophy. Most of the design become the artistic impressions, more than the regular professional pattern. So that's what Shangri-La evolved as one of the most unique boutique property. Even considered by one of the famous, the consultant and all that. And that is the journey started. We started from the non-business environment and became the business community. And I
How
definitely
interesting.
that already excites me.
Yeah, I can see that on your face. There is this perpetual, I can see that glee and smile, and that it's not like you don't feel, oh my God, it's work. You're very passionate about it. And there is somebody here called Subhash
Uh-huh.
Shrestha. He is saying namaste to you, to us.
Mhm.
So obviously there is some kind of friend following who are watching you right now. And
Okay. Mhm.
yes, see, it's very interesting the way you started this, and you, I think, from the beginning, had a outside the box thinking. Like when you spoke about designing, when it was not really a part of the culture there, you got this design sense, and you started looking in a different dimension. And that's the reason maybe I have met you personally, so I know what an artistic man you are, and you have these lovely children who are artists as well. And I think it must be coming from you. Both your kids are so
Mhm.
dynamic, and they have this artistic quality in them. And what
Mhm.
I like is that you're also letting them follow their passion, you know.
Yeah,
And
exactly. That's what when we follow the journey of Shangri-La, then in the junction of converting that to different phase, a different segment, in which I call it a paradigm shift again, As you have seen that the paradigm shift was created by my father, Mr. Shangri-La, and then again we're in multiple business, in telecom, in hydropower, some of the companies that we represent like Alcatel, Mitsubishi, crew from Germany, even Jetty from China. So these are some of the major, multinational, conglomerate that we had the opportunity to work with them for many projects in Nepal. And vis-a-vis, again with the hotel, then what I thought that, okay, now the world is doing different, especially after post-COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID. Pre-COVID, we all were comfortable, we were comfortable with everything, life was going on, beautiful, plus, minus, whatever, but after post-COVID, I think we started redefining, and going back to the, like going back to its root, I mean, we always started having a question on ourselves that who we are and what are we supposed to do? Is it right or is it wrong? And that's how the crossroads, the environment that we were there in the whole humanity, I would rather say that. So definitely that gave us also the right opportunity to review our, there's a lineage, that is it right that, okay, whatever the Shangri-La had the one level of impact is going to take it another 40, 50 years, 100 years, and that's what I came in as took over the chairmanship of that and suddenly found that, oh, look, okay, that was a great story, that was a great heritage, lineage, but I said that is going to be a part of the story. But the life should not goes on, and especially like as you said, children and even my other brother were equally dynamic in their own respective field, and they really wanted to, see that what could be the expansion, what could be the diversification. So there, that is what I, rightly moved in there and said that, look, hey, let's not have a vision of a, I will say that let's not have a regularity, a continuity. Let's continue with something that it become paradigm shifting. So that's what, if you look at my recent activities, which is going on in Nepal, I have been rather had the vision of creating something like Lost Horizon in Begnas, Pokhara, and Chittagong, Meghalli, which I really want to have a very upscale kind of hospitality segment in Nepal, which Nepal never thought about that. We all were trying this, there's a proverb saying that, we only wanted to give a comfort of Mercedes, but we keep on upgrading the Toyotas. So if you don't know how to create the Mercedes, then you don't keep on upgrading. That is the psychic in our part of the world. We, as and as we keep on extending ourselves to the limit that, then suddenly we realize that there's another world, where there's a different way of presenting or implementing. And that's what I think this shift was there. And that's the reason that when I look at this shift, especially for Begnas, Pokhara, Begnas, and Chittagong, then suddenly found the miss that, okay, we are already going far ahead of Nepal. Nepal were prepared for, let's say, not to that level, but again, I went to that. So I was looking for my own, I mean, the synergy that could be the synergy. Of course, Pranay, my son, was working very hard on that and saying that all the projects that dedicated towards, I dedicated him. He was presenting to me well, he well deserved. Along with my brother, was also equally very much involved into that, seeing that everything was going smooth as per the schedule. But I was looking beyond that. So then suddenly I found that, okay, with this kind of upscale, when Nepal was not even prepared, let me find the another level of entry. That's why we brought this intercontinental group, which is again the world largest hotel group, and then for intercontinental also to sign almost four property, Kathmandu, and three
Right.
property out of Kathmandu, Pokhara 2 and Chittagong. It was a great breakthrough, even landmark for them. So that gave some kind of what do you call that? Very paradigm shift in our own business, which we were never prepared for. And that's what I told you that maybe post COVID gave us that kind of strength or that kind of vision or understanding that, okay, life doesn't go the way it is. Like our father, forefathers, saying there's a history. So we look at history and made the best, but the jump was somewhere else. And then again, as I said, that going from the many business, I was got involved, then narrowed down, zero it to the more Australia, because Nepal had their major leverage on that, apart from the other any other business. If you look at the many business in Nepal, did survive, but many business didn't survive more than decade. But tourism did survive, multiple many decades. So that's it become more sustainable. So then we thought that even I mean everybody has his own limitation of their own participation. But what I felt that during my this I mean more explosive, aggressive time that I should expand in a level that my generation or even my children or even my brother, they should be able to extend from four property to being another four more. So that's what my vision that I had already in my mind. And then I'm trying to bring together my family, as a whole, in that pattern.
How interesting. Now that is a trait of a visionary, I must say. That's really a trait of a visionary. I mean, where you started and where you are today, it is really phenomenal. And of course, I was very lucky to receive a signed copy of a book that you had gifted me, and in that I saw that you had such great dignitaries visiting your hotels. I really want to know, out of so many people who have visited your hotel, who has been your favorite? I
Well,
know it's
I
tough to
remember,
answer, but
yeah,
everybody
no,
has a
I don't,
favorite.
yeah, I remember that, when Pokhara was first introduced, even when it was inaugurated, the German president at that time, almost like that was 20 years ago. I don't know exactly the date, but the year. I think that is the time the German president. He was the first highest dignitary to visit Nepal, and first highest dignitary to visit out of Kathmandu. Pokhara was like outskirts, it was like domestic airport, and somehow he was the first highest level of dignitary came to Nepal and visited Pokhara even before the opening. So when we had very soft opening, and he was our chief, he was the special guest. And so we have to literally prepare the whole hotel for him. I mean, though we are not fully prepared, inaugurate. So that is a kind of, I mean, that is the impact that I got. And then followed by, actually that hotel, it's really the Pokhara, because Kathmandu, is also we had many, but Pokhara has a very unique experience. Then again followed by Japanese Crown Prince, then again the President King Charles, Princess Anne, and many dignitaries, I think, including Deve Gowda, your former Prime Minister Deve Gowda, uh, and many. I think that's where I still remember. And out of that, that's when I said that German president, because suddenly, when hotel was not even open, soft only, suddenly he wanted to come there. And basically, again, there was a American still minister. She was Robin Rava. I think she also came before the inauguration. So even she advertised saying that hotel. In fact, she said the word that that when you what you are doing in Kathmandu when there's a lush green property in the midst of rice field, and suddenly the whole the whole view, the world's highest view opening. What are you guys doing? She made that kind of comment, in Nepalese newspaper when she was given after the interview. So that's why the Popera, not only hotel, the whole Popera started becoming popular, because of the hotel itself. So there's a saying that when you go to Pokhara, there are many sightseeing places, and also the hotel become one of the sightseeing, more than the hotel.
Yes, yes.
And now, in fact, that hotel also there's a nice, beautiful story. Because many of our property, I went to Pokhara to find the land, and it's so difficult to choose the land because there's too many broken, too many lands. So we didn't know where to buy the land. And suddenly, because we used to have a lot of our friend here. At that time, Tony Hagen was a very famous geologist who did in Nepal to the third world. And Tony Hagen become again the very famous who introduced the world of Himalayan range to the world world. So that's where you can see a lot of trekking, climbing going on. That credit goes to him. And basically, I had to take him to Pokhara to find out where he first pitched the tent when he came first time in Nepal, because he was so. And then when he took a famous picture at that time, that picture became world famous. That's Annapurna Range. So I really wanted that very spot where he took a first camping. So that's what I took him, and we were there for 3, 4, 5 days doing all the survey and looking many regions from where he climbed down, he trekked down. So basically, then he found, okay, Prasad, this is the spot that I feel that maybe I'm not sure, So it could be maybe like what do you call that, 5 to 300, sorry, maybe 50 meter here and there, but this should be the spot. And there's one old tree also at that time, I believe. So you say maybe probably that tree because normally trees can live up to 40, 50, 50, 60, 100 years or so. So he was trying to show me that tree and the land. And suddenly we brought the land, and suddenly we got the land, and suddenly we found there is no access to the land because I was so aggressive to get the land first in the midst of nowhere, and got the land. And we had some broker and then settled the land, and suddenly I found that didn't have okay. There was a very small lane, but don't have a motor road to the land. So literally, we have to work so hard to make sure that again we make a more driven. So that's how the Pokhara property had become the. I mean, that's how the hotel, the spot where the hotel become more popular towards the whole. That's why a lot of people, in fact, with that kind of story and many other things, and people again. came to Pokhara, because of that feel. So that's what. So many of the property, like if you look at our Begna's property, which is going on now, which will be about to be open next year. Even that kind of property, like I've never seen a spot like that in any part of the world. I've traveled many hotels, but none of the hotel has lake, forest, and highest peak in the world coming together. Nowhere in the
Wow.
world I've seen. So this kind of country is beyond yoga. Wherever we should talk about distressing, because that's if you look at the environment like that, the lake changes, the mountain color changes, the forest changes, and in the midst of the hotel you can see get the feel of that. That's the kind of and similarly in our like Begoli property in Chittor. Chittor is one of the finest game reserve in Asia. I mean, apart after Africa, because it is one of the well-managed, what do you call it, game reserve, introduced by the famous Britisher, and it is one of the well-managed game park also, because that's what the result you can see that we have the highest, increment of tiger habitat and the rhinos, because of that well-managed reserve also. So there also this spot that we have chosen to get this one of the very iconic again high-end resort also. So the whole idea behind hotel is not just the hotel, but the world's finest nature that nature has to offer to the mankind, and that's what we are trying to be near to that. To say that you're not just going to the hotel, get the feel of the nature, get the beauty of nature, and get healed by nature. That's the whole philosophy.
Wow, I love this philosophy. And I realize that every project, whether small or big, is like a child to you. And it's very difficult to say which one could be your favorite. But of course, as I know that you are a very avid traveler, uh, you have been to so many countries. I'm sure you have one of the places uh, outside Nepal that are your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I always find, I mean, India very fascinating because India has always been some sort of a life cycle because you're always part of the Indian friends family, so that always gives the comfort level there. Because when I married my wife, we had the first honeymoon in Kashmir. So that is a kind of flora. I mean, I really enjoyed that. And suddenly, the moment we finished our honeymoon, that was a bad luck even for Kashmir or even for India. The very first bomb blasted, moment we left Srinagar. So that's the
Oh,
kind of, So I always find that the boat house, oh, that's such fascinating culture and theme. And of course, India had many of those kind of, variety, and naturally, India being again the comfortable, as you know that all some of my family, my even sister-in-laws are married there, so it's more like a family affair. India is more
of
like a
course.
more
India
comfort
and you
family
have
affair.
a
So
deep
so
rooted
that way,
connection.
India is always also interesting. But again, going to back to Europe, America, my children they study in America, both children. So that's why America was always regular for me, and keep going every holiday there. And also my daughter's sister in MIS going again that again become somehow as I said apart from the these other family relationship. So and again Europe I was when I was working with Alcatel was the biggest telecom and yeah, Europe was always my second, kind of always corporate kind of meetings, very high profile, those executive kind of movements. So Paris, Belgium, France, Italy, you name it, Venice, I mean, though I think more than my sightseeing time, but I was more on a corporate street for those kind, for in Europe, because though of course I take my wife sometime, but most of the time in business, so that I enjoyed like that way. So lately, in a comfort level, I would rather say even Asia, like Thailand, many parts of Thailand, Malaysia, Japan, Australia. These are the some comfort I will find in terms because maybe the Asiatic kind of feel. And America is always, because when I wanted to visit America first time, I had in mind that I never visit America because I never studied there. So what is my great experience going to America? Then I remember that okay, maybe I should have some level of American culture. So what is American culture? I know. I was asking myself. So then I suddenly found that Harvard is American culture. If I go to Harvard, then I'm part of the American culture. So that's how I had a feel at that time. So then how do you go to Harvard? Because I was, I got graduate in Nepal. So how do I go there? Then I found there's one banker here. In fact, they suggested me that there's a French bank. They are the joint venture bank. They said, no, Mr. Pandey, because they are part, they are working with us. They said, why don't you go to Harvard, do your executive course there? And they had at that time they had this some cap, like limitation means you would have minimum 3 million, $4 million kind of revenue money, and it had to certified by banker. So
Okay.
then only you are qualified to enroll, not like president, you pay the money and all that. At that time, I still remember there was $6,000 I had to pay for, even for a 10-day course. $6,000 for 10-day course. It was called owners. What do you call that? Owners President Program, OPM. Owners President Program, and it is there for 3 years. Every year is about 10, 12 days, and preparation for another 10, 12. So about 15, 20 days ahead of it, and about 10 days of class. And I thought all these classes used to be like conference. Normally we used to go for all the business conference, this and that. I thought
Yeah.
it was like that. Somewhere the conference was like conference kind of thing, and a little bit question answer and panel discussion, all that. Then suddenly I found that it was so intense course. I don't think I ever studied like that in my own class or in college. And at that time, it was even that case study the Harvard had introduced. Case study, I think the case study became one of the most unique applied education in US. And that's what
Yeah.
my first experience in US, going to US. And suddenly my wife found out that after coming back from the Harvard, she found that what happened to you? I said, what? No, you have lost 5 kg. And my whole face was looking pale. I was working so hard to make sure that more than anything else, it was so intense and natural. Then I found that, oh, that was a case study. With everything, in a class, I could get experience of not everything uniform. Everything is applied. Everybody is different. Everybody has different formula of to look at it, and that formula always works. It doesn't have to be universal. And that's what Harvard accelerated, and that's what I felt that's American culture. And after that,
Um,
America was very comfort for me, not just the sightseeing only.
yeah. That's so beautiful. What a beautiful share you shared with us. I had
Thank
the
you.
privilege of also meeting your wife and spending some time with her. What a stylish
Mhm.
woman. And what a stylish woman. Sumita is really she's like one of my favorite icons, I can say.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you
I'll
know
tell her that.
what I like about her is how she manages you. And I know it's not easy to manage a hotelier. I know that
No,
out
no,
of my own.
this is a very beautiful question you have asked. It's a very, of course, it's very, very challenging and very difficult.
It's
It's very
very
challenging.
challenging
Yeah.
because hoteliers have to be pleased even at home, just like a hotel.
As
I
you,
know
as you
this.
have right, as you rightly said, because the way you facade yourself, the way you also attract many things. So you cannot, though you may be weeping inside, but you have to laugh. That's called hotel. You know, you may
Yes,
be having a hardship with yourself, still have to smile. That's so that is a kind of connotation that one's life. Means you have to be so. I will not say flamboyant, but I would say like that's the most smiling environment. Because who doesn't go through all this rigorous environment, but in as a hoteler, the smiling has to be always there. I still remember that one point in one of the conference that somebody was saying that, can you just imagine, Mr. Pandey, that we have to work so hard, so difficult, all that exact 24-hour job. It's like a 24-hour operation. It is never it's like such an intense. Everybody has got 10 to 5, but we have 24-hour job and make sure that we satisfy here. But don't know that how difficult it is, and yet we have to smile. That's what the
yeah, you're
lifestyle is.
absolutely right. And the worst is when the whole world is holidaying, whether it's Diwali or it's the
Yeah,
Sera or it's Christmas or New Year's, you guys are working hard. And that's the time when your family is so supportive of you. They're
exactly.
like your backbone.
Exactly. No, no. There's always saying when there's always success, there's always a woman behind you. So that's what I give that credit to my wife. And again, I'm also proud that my children are also going the same line. So apart from wife, my children are also looking at seeing that whatever their father doing a little bit hard work, they are trying to intensify that. So I'm happy that more and more they intensify that. So I'm living that. I'm saying that I'm going on holiday. I'm in holiday. I mean, I give in. So it is also another, Shefali, there's another one saying, it's like a magnanimity also. I would always look
Yes.
at that magnanimity because I never look at it as, okay, if I control that, I save it. That's not my cup of tea. I only look at, okay, even I don't mind. Not cup of tea, even multiple cup of tea, even copy broken, let them do it the way they want and see what their own experience. I would not like to keep on asking them do it and do that. That is my per se. That's my ethos. That I don't like to even pinpoint thing that okay. I just like it is like putting somebody in something like the flood. Okay, let them swim the way they want. I don't want to keep guiding them. And that's what I think they have evolved. So I feel proud of that also. That okay, they have evolved quite strongly, nicely, and that's beauty of it. Because that's what I learned that one thing in Harvard that you know because it was very difficult even for applied education. I said that to even understand each and every issues. I took this strategy finding for a small business, but it was so difficult even mathematical this that all that connectivity and all that because naturally when you have to put your mind together. But when I look at the conclusion, my conclusion was in Harvard was that okay, look, Mr. Pandey, the world is not easy, world is not difficult, but if you know how to manage, everything is so perfectly fine. And their uniqueness of saying that what is the uniqueness of saying that be like a helicopter that whenever in a helicopter, you are in the right spare of the height. If you wanted to get back to the crisis or need of the hour, you can hover that and go back to the crisis area and get settled and if you don't want that, just hover back to the position where you wanted to be. I think that was a perfect connotation for me. If I were to do business, okay, I'll make sure that I assemble that, I make a vision, I see that. And while implementation, there's no point. I keep on saying that, keep on making the formula. Let people handle it the way they want it. Let my son, let my brother, let my other combination keep handling the way they want it. And if I see someone, then only hover into into the area and they try to solve the problem or don't keep on engaging there and maintain the distance. And that's the beauty of it.
That's fantastic. Actually, that's one trait that I think good leaders should have because they have to let go. They have to let other people handle it. You have to delegate. It's very important. If you do everything on your own, it's difficult. Then you don't get your think
Yeah.
time. And at your level, what you really need to do is just think time because if you're thinking and doing, it's not possible to make this kind of progress the way you have made, Prasada. And I think by delegating you have like you have told them like okay fine I am there if you need me like a helicopter but and you hover around when they really need you and then you're out sitting there like everything is okay and looked after. I think that's a beautiful concept. I know you're a little hard pressed on time, and I don't want to take much of your time any longer. But I have this one question that I want you to answer, which is one message to the youth of your country and to the youth of all the countries, if I may say, even India, because youth is same everywhere.
Well, it's a very difficult to say in one word, but I was just trying to remember that what should be the perfect approach. For that is I think be passionate. Just simple. Just whatever you want, just be passionate. Be part of it. Simple. There's nothing rocket science or nothing here and there, nothing you can or you cannot. Just be passionate about it. Like, there's saying, because it's not only one word, that's why it's difficult. Because we are
Of
not
course,
tuned to one word. Whenever we talk, there's one way, the other, we
I
have
know.
somebody has limit us. So my point is, it's a passion and passion creates the knowledge, and passion creates the experimental field. And that is what I think the key words of success because none of the area is rocket science. So everything is reachable. Everything, especially in this world when this AI and all this internet. I think people are very knowledgeable. They have got they can do they can and they have the all. So the idea is one is be passionate. That means that you know the subject very well. You are reasonable. And after that, once the passion is there, then as I've said that once your magnanimity starts the magnanimity, passion, magnanimity, and I think that's it. Be passion. drives you everything. It's like nerve system. And then magnanimity is that your heart. So I think if it's two combined, I think you can capture everything. You capture your social life, you capture your economic, your political everything. So magnanimity and passion. I think that's not only one word. I think it's two words. So I think whenever you ask somebody, just ask them 2 to 3 words. That maybe they'll answer properly.
That's fantastic. Well, that's quite a mantra, I must say, from Mr. Prasida. And thank you so much for coming on the show once again. And I really hope, Sumita, you were listening, that whatever he is today, and you are the backbone back at home, and the strength of it. So keep going strong. And I really wish you all the best for your future endeavors. And I really look forward to coming there and experiencing the same in one of your places. That will be fantastic. And thank you once again for taking out this time.
Yes, Sefali, thank you very much giving me this opportunity. Especially, you are a wonderful person. When we met in Delhi, it was lovely. In fact, the whole environment was so, sensationalizing that whenever I heard Sefali, oh, what could be the plus point? Okay, so a beautiful person. I mean, actually, I didn't know that you were Storyteller. When my wife said that, and then met you, what a wonderful work you are doing. In fact, sometimes it's so satisfying to bring a lot of experience, through you and to the listener and all around the world. I mean, that's something that is a great job. I think
Thank you
keep it
so
up that,
much.
and it's a beautiful
Thank you
job.
so much,
And definitely,
Paresh.
we'll love to have all our four property when it's about to be open next year. I mean, sorry, this year and next year. So there'll be four properties in line. So you got to be make your time spare for us. So we'll have that experiential feel, of nature
Well,
and beauty.
Well, as you had said, we are family away from family. So I'm family.
Exactly,
So I'm just a call away, and you know that. And it was my pleasure
exactly.
also to meet everybody and be part of the whole. All of you, made me feel just like family, and that was really special. And it was a very special time that we ended up spending. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Stefani. Thank you very much. Yeah.
yes,
All the best.
bye.
Okay.
Yes, thank you
See
so
you.
much.
See
Bye
you next
for
time.
now.
Yeah.
And
Bye
thank you,
bye.
everybody, for watching us. It was fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
sure you're going to learn
Yeah.
so much from what Mr. Pandey said. Thank you and goodbye
Yeah.
and have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you very much from my side too. Thank you.